Hello. Hello, welcome. Thought I'd do something a little different today, and I don't know, I've wanted to do like a lore reading on Dark Souls. Pretty recent, but for a while overall, I think. And I figured this would be a good day to do both try something new, have a chill stream where I just read. Try to piece together the world of Lordran. Yeah, big lore time. I know I've never played Dark Souls on stream, but I've never personally beaten the game. But I have seen many videos of either gameplay or character lore, stuff like that. Hello, Shion, welcome. But I figured this would just be a chill couple hours to just vibe to, and this is probably not the worst idea to just have this be a stream that people fall asleep to, so yes, I do have chat on the screen, but it's not necessary to talk today. This can just be just listen, and if you've never played Dark Souls, if you don't know anything about the world, it could be one of those piece it together with me things. Because the only ones that I actually have played is Dark Souls 3, and that's about it. And that's a completely different lore situation to what Dark Souls 1. It's not too different. It is still held in the same world. It's just that it was held significantly later in the future, where Dark Souls 1 is at, I believe, a handful of years after the events of Gwyn and all that. Anyway, tried like hell to get some decent music and find an actual gif of a bonfire that wasn't completely messed up. But anyway, so I will be reading from the wiki, and anytime it references a character or, you know, a lord or a god or anything of that nature, I'm going to be derailing and going to that character, god, or whatever, reading their lore that is displayed on the website, and just kind of go from there. You're more than welcome to read with me. I have no problem with that. But you can also just kind of hang out. Alright. I do have it pulled up already, and this freaking website has a bunch of ads. But That's just what they want. They want my money. So if something ends up playing without my knowledge or something like that, I don't think it would not be under my knowledge or anything like that. But if it happens, then just know that it's not me. If it's some weirdo, like, I don't know, just completely out of pocket ad, and you know it's an ad, then forgive me. Thinking of the seagulls from Finding Nemo, but instead of mine, it's lore, 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 lore. Yes. Hopefully the music is good enough. This is literally, there's no playlist. It is a single song. This is the Firelink Shrine from, I guess this is from the remastered version, but this is definitely the song that you'd likely hear the most of in Dark Souls Remastered, or any kind. I was originally going to do a full FromSoft thing, but I didn't find it very applicable, I guess. But yeah, anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and forgive me for messing up words, but I'm gonna try my best to pronounce things correctly and, you know, hopefully get the information right. Because again, I am just reading. None of this is my own speculation, because I haven't finished the game. I've only ever gotten to, I don't even know, like Nito, I think, is the only one I got to. And then I kind of just dropped it because I had stuff come up at the time. Maybe one day I will go back and play the entire series because I really miss it. But today is not that day. Alright. So I am going to start with the overview. In the Age of Ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of gray crags, arched trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came, and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith, and her daughter of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolt peeled apart their stone scales. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease, and Seath the Scaleless betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire, but soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers, and man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark sign. Yes, indeed, the dark sign brands the undead, and in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north, where they are locked away to wait the end of the world. This is your fate. It is from the opening cinematic. Nito is responsible for the swamps. Nito is more responsible for death and disease. Not necessarily the swamps, but I can see where that could end up being. The world of Dark Souls is a world of cycles. Kingdoms rise and fall, ages come and go, and even time can end and restart as the flame fades and is renewed. These cycles are linked to the first flame, a mysterious manifestation of life, and divides and defines separate states such as heat and cold, or life and death. As the first flame fades, these differences also begin to fade, such as life and death having little distinction, and humans become undead. The onset of the Age of Dark, the time when the first flame has fully died, is marked by endless nights, rampant undeath, time, space, and reality, breaking down lands, collapsing, and converging on one another. People mutating into monsters, darkness converting the world, and the gods losing their powers. To avoid this and prolong the Age of Fire, the bearer of the powerful soul must link themselves to the first flame, becoming the fuel for another age. If this is not done, the first flame will eventually die. I was misreading that, I'm sorry. And an Age of Dark will begin. Basically, any chosen person can link the fire and basically restart the cycle. I would imagine a handful of years would be what causes the Age of Dark. And so long as they get it in time, they can continually restart the cycle. The powerful Lord Souls were taken from the first flame, used to defeat the dragons, and then to establish kingdoms. Souls are inextricably and inexplicably linked to fire. Souls are life, and life is fire. It stands to reason that souls are fire as well. Without the first flame and without souls, there is no life. The bearer of a strong soul, called a lord, who links themselves to the first flame, and thus rekindled the flame with their own soul, returning life to it. In the end, one could expect that all souls will have been returned to the first flame, and the Age of Fire will have effectively ended anyways. It is inevitable that people try to find a way around this. Another way to continue the Age of Fire without making sacrifices, but in every case they fail. In the first Age of Fire, the Witch of Izalith attempted to create a duplicate of the first flame, using her witchcraft and a special soul, but failed catastrophically. Instead of making another first flame, she had created a twisted flame of chaos that produced distortions of life, turning herself and all of her daughters into demons. These demons were malevolent and wandered the land. Gwyn gathered up his armies and fought the demons of chaos, eventually driving them back and shackling the bed of chaos to bind them. Knowing that the Age of Fire was nearing its end, under the guidance of the primordial serpent Kingseeker Fromp, Gwyn offered himself to the first flame to stave off the dark. As the flames surged with new life, the knights who followed him were burnt by the flames and now wander the world as black knights, hollow shells of armor attacked indiscriminately. So it seems that they tried to duplicate the first flame. I'm gathering that using, it was, who tried to do that? The Witch of Izalith. Unsuccessfully creating the Chaos Flame, which is a spell in that game. I know that. Or, like, I know there's a spell called Chaos Bed Vestige, I think. But since they attempted to do that, creating the Chaos Flame created demons, causing no attempt to rekindle the first flame without sacrifice, I would imagine. And possibly resulting in Gwyn sacking himself to the first flame, because he's just that kind of a guy. So initially it seems like Gwyn is a relatively okay guy, but I think that was more just so that he can keep to the Age of Fire. Before he left to link the first flame, Gwyn gave fragments of his soul to his followers and allies. Ornstein, how do you say that? Goth, I think? Ciaran, and Artorius, his 4 strongest knights who fought against the dragons. Seath, the Pale Drake, who betrayed the dragons and played a crucial role in the war, and was also granted the title of Duke and permission to build a grand archive to conduct his research, and the 4 kings of New Londo, who ruled the city of the undead. In time, another primordial serpent convinced the people of the human kingdom of Ulisile to delve into the darkness of the abyss to unearth the grave of the ancient human. Whether through their actions or some other means, the primordial human, Manus, was resurrected and driven to madness, and his wild humanity caused the people of Ulisil to mutate into abominations. Manus, father of the abyss, began to rapidly spread dark and accelerate the growth of the abyss, and would have started an early age of dark had he not been defeated. Even so, the kingdom of Ulisil was lost to the abyss, and eventually forgotten into the modern day. Nothing remains in the present day to mark the passing of this land save for Dusk, the princess of Ulisil. Gwyn's youngest son, Gwendolyn, together with King Seeker Frump, shepherds of humans by Gwyn's command. Together, they build giant asylums to house the countless undead, hoping against hope that one of them would be chosen to defeat the asylum demon and fulfill their destiny. The undead are sent on a quest to ring the bells of the awakening, collect the Lord Vessel, slay the bearers of Gwyn's soul, and offer those souls to the Lord Vessel to open the path to the kiln of the first flame. In doing so, the unnatural undead are given true death, and the living can enjoy another age of fire for 1,000 years, while the undead linked to the first flame will continue to burn alive and aware until someone else comes to take their place. And thus, the cycle continues. Lord. Okay. So, seems like every age of fire is 1,000 years, and every 1,000 years you have to have someone, or someone is bound to at least get past the asylum demon to offer the Lord Vessels to the first flame. I'm confused. I'm very, very confused. Apparently we're going into many, many locations. Well, I guess we can always start with the characters. Maybe we can find it. One person can fuel the first flame for 1,000 years, so it would seem. Okay, well, let's start with Gwyn at the very least before we start delving into locations, right? Okay, Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight. Bearer of the strongest Lord Soul, Gwyn's power manifested as a great spears of sunlight, which take the form of lightning. He founded the kingdom of Anor Londo, led an army of his silver knights against the dragons, and was father to Guinevere, Gwendolyn, and his disowned firstborn son, thought to be Sen, the ancient god of war. Gwyn was the first to link the first flame, becoming the Lord of Cinder, and now mindlessly guards it against outside threats to serve as a test of strength for those seeking to link it again. Gwyn's crown is said to have once had some special power, but its power has long since faded and now only exudes a slight warmth by the time the player acquires it. Gwyn and his clan are referred to as gods, whether this is by Gwyn's own command or simply a title given to them by others for their strength is unknown, though they are still the primary religious figures in many human kingdoms. Gwyn is one of the four who happened upon the Lord's souls at the dawn of the Age of Fire, along with Grave Lord Nito, the Witch of Izalith, and the Furtive Pygmy. Okay. So, I guess we can go straight into his children, I would imagine. So, the first seems like the firstborn daughter, I believe, would be Guinevere, which is the Princess of Sunlight. Second daughter of Gwyn. Oh, sorry. The second. Why is it the first one? Oh, you know what? It's the firstborn son. And then his secondborn was his daughter, and thirdborn was Gwendolyn. I understand. Okay. Well, in that case, we'll just go off the first, the second, and then the third. There's not much to say about the firstborn, but it is the firstborn son of Gwyn. He committed some serious offense and was stricken with the annals of history. The story is not expanded on in Dark Souls 1, but it is expanded on in Dark Souls 3, which is pretty interesting, in my opinion. I know that for a fact because I do remember seeing things when I was actually playing the game. So, but that's me though. I can't really divulge too much into that since we're just doing Dark Souls 1 for today. And I want to see how this actually goes. Guinevere is the Princess of Sunlight and the second daughter of Gwyn, and known as the Goddess of Fertility. The real Guinevere married the flame god Flann and left Anor Londo long ago when the first flame began to fade. But Gwendolyn created an illusion of her to maintain the image of power and stability in the kingdom. This illusion grants successful undead the Lord Vessel, and directs them to follow the Kingseeker Fromm's advice and fill it with the Lord Souls. Undead who ask can join the Princess Guard, Knight of Guinevere, who grant aid to fellow undead through the use of her miracles. So, seems, well, I mean, much with any gods, I would imagine they're powerful in any way of magic, right? In typical RPG fashion. But she does mention Gwendolyn, and she does mention the undead, and Kingseeker Fromm, which I'm sure we can go into that. Gwendolyn, the Dark Sun, youngest son of Gwyn and the only god who stayed behind in Anor Londo. Gwendolyn has a deep adoration of the sun and reveres his father, spending his time guarding Gwyn's tomb and orchestrating events alongside Kingseeker Fromm to delay the Age of Dark. Due to his strong connection to the moon and skill in his magic, he was raised as a daughter. Gwendolyn specializes in a form of sorcery that uses faith instead of intelligence. He is capable of powerful illusions that are nearly indistinguishable from reality. In this way, he maintains the appearance of In this way, he maintains the appearance of a thriving Anor Londo. In reality, the kingdom has long since been abandoned and experienced the endless night, and Gwendolyn and his Dark Moon Knights are the ones who remain. Undead may join his company of knights if they wish, though any who dispel the illusion of Guinevere or enter Gwyn's tomb are instead marked as irredeemable sinners and pursued by those same knights. I almost wonder if this would make more sense if there was, like, gameplay or something. But there is talk of Anor Londo, so we can talk to Anor Londo. But first, I do want to read the lore that says Lordran, because Lordran is the world. Lordran, known as the land of the ancient lords, where their kingdoms converge. This is where the game takes place, and is the dangerous area indeed, containing a great variety of environments and filled with many dangerous creatures. Any undead's resolve will be tested to the fullest here. The undead travel great distance to reach this land where the first flame waits to be linked. So, I guess even if the world is in the Age of Fire, you have to go to Lordran to actually link the first flame. Anor Londo is known as the City of Gods and founded by Lord Gwyn. It sits at the top of a mountain, and both the cliff face and its own walls separate it from the outside world. Long ago, invitations were given to great champions among humans, decided through victories in an arena, but this practice has not been kept up for some time. Sen's fortress sits below it, an enormous death trap serving as both gateway and obstacle to Anor Londo. And those who could overcome it were permitted access, but the pathway at the end has since been sealed. Now any undead seeking to enter the city are carried in by bat-winged demons if they can overcome the fortress. The truth of Anor Londo is hidden behind the intricate illusion. When the first flame began to fade, all the gods abandoned Anor Londo, save for Gwendolyn, Gwyn's youngest son. He now uses his magic to make it look like the city still stands strong, but in reality, only he and his knights remain, and he is the only true authority left. Okay. Maybe I can read the undead, right? Surely that would be something that would make the most sense, considering it's been mentioned in everything so far. Maybe I have to go to... No. How do I have to find this? Might take me a minute. No, this is not going to give me what I want, is it? I don't think it is. That's unfortunate. Well, I guess from my understanding at least, this is probably going to be where my opinion rolls in. It may very much be wrong, but that's probably fine. The undead are basically just the humans of the world. Obviously, people after the linking of the first flame, or when the first flame arose, then most humans, if not all humans, became undead. And at that point, the fight to link the flame to keep the Age of Fire going started. And it is what your main character in the game is. They basically must have a will to go on. They need a purpose in life. Otherwise, they will go hollow, and hollowing is basically the equivalent of losing your mind or basically having no purpose. And again, I may be wrong, but that's my understanding. So every so often you'll see like I don't know, people in like Dark Souls forums mention how can I piece the wording together? Well, I guess there's characters in the game that you help, obviously. But if things go awry or things just don't end up the way you want, then those characters will go hollow, which will turn them against other people. Being a hollow basically means you just work on instinct, so you just attack things. Attack those that are not hollow and get in the way of anyone trying to link the flame, trying to bring about the Age of Dark. Possibly. I think that's right. That sounds right. Where is this? Here we go. So all undeads show up at the undead asylum. Asylum being like a prison in a way, where they have to take on the asylum demon and try to get past that demon to make it to Lordran to be able to go and link the flame. The section for the undead asylum, which is where you start, says, an asylum for the undead of the Age of Lordran. Undead were corralled here and in many such places in order of Gwendolyn, the youngest son of Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight. The undead are kept here in hopes of one day one of them would be chosen to be able to defeat the gatekeeper, the fearsome asylum demon, and go on to link the first flame. It is still unclear whether the undead is chosen because they are able to defeat the asylum demon, or that they are able to defeat the asylum demon because they are chosen. So I would imagine that brings out many cases of uncertainty, because maybe you'll just get a throwaway undead that's able to defeat the asylum demon, and they never end up linking the flame. I think it would be good to start reading some of the characters that were further mentioned, like Kingseeker Frompt, Dragonslayer Ornstein, Hawkeye Goff. The GH makes the F sound, right? Like a cough. Lord's Blade Ciaran, and Artorias the Abyss Walker. So starting with Kingseeker Frompt, one of the primordial serpents, Kingseeker Frompt finds undead with his potential to be the Lords and directs them to link the first flame, though he is not entirely forthwith and fails to mention that anyone who does will be trapped there, burning for an entire age. Even so, linking the first flame is necessary to prolong the Age of Fire and prevent the Age of Dark. Frompt will denounce the player and abandon them if they ever join Dark Stalker Koth instead. And since there's a mention of Dark Stalker Koth, I think I can go down and actually, assuming it's, oh wow, that's a lot. Okay, you can probably read that. So they get guidance unless they join Darkstalker Koth, who is one of the primordial serpents. Darkstalker Koth acts to end the Age of Fire and bring the Age of Dark. It is suspected that he is the one who tricked the people of Ulasil into reviving Manus. And in in the game itself, he argues that the player character should forsake the First Flame and become a Lord of Dark, ruling over the age of humanity. His words are true, though much like Frompt, he leaves out a lot of important details that might otherwise lead a person to think twice. Koth taught the art of life drain to the four kings of New Londo, causing them and their knights to become corrupted by the dark and give rise to the Dark Wraiths, humanity stealing undead knights who are a threat to anyone with a soul, or anything with a soul. The Dark Wraiths now answer to Koth, and he commands them to go out and steal humanity from their fellow undead in hopes that one among them will become powerful enough to qualify as a Dark Lord. Should the player side with Koth, Frompt will denounce them and leave. But should the player side with Frompt, Koth will never show himself to in the first place. I see. So, Manus is mentioned, and also the Dark Wraiths. So, Dark Wraiths are really freaky looking. They basically wear like bone armor, you know, skull face plate, that kind of jazz. I don't think that they would be smart enough to maybe give a description. It doesn't look so. Nothing but actual characters, no real... Oh, wait a minute. No. They go over the bosses, but no actual... no actual Dark Wraiths. That's fine. It's no big deal, but we can go over Manus, who is a primeval human. Manus was once a man, but becomes a twisted abomination after being resurrected. His humanity goes wild and similarly mutates any other human it comes in contact with. There's not a space between comes in. That kind of confused me for a moment. He is a dark sorcerer of immense power and wields the strength of the Abyss to bring the kingdom of Ulasil to its knees in short order, capturing the Princess Dusk. The Abyss spreads rapidly under his guidance, and while its spread is halted with his death, Goff notes that this is only a temporary measure. The knight Artorius attempts to stop him, but is defeated. Manus himself is warped beyond the ability to reason by his revival and desperately seeks his precious pendant, which he never finds. He demonstrates the ability to reach beyond time and space, snatching at least two people from the future and dragging them back into the past. Yeah. Basically, Manus is just really scary. And the fact that he can manipulate time like that is kind of crazy, but that kind of brings about another thing that I'm hoping gets mentioned, but if not, maybe I'll be able to mention it. So there was mention of Artorius, I believe. And assuming, yes. So Artorius is the legendary knight of Gwyn, and probably one of the most notorious characters in all of the Souls series. He's just incredible. He's a really fun boss fight too. Known for his unbreakable will of steel and unmatched skill with greatswords, it is said that Artorius forged a pact with the Beast of the Abyss to fight against the Dark Wraiths. But this is only a fabrication, as his true story was intentionally obscured and eventually forgotten. In reality, Artorias was defeated by the Abyss, and his efforts were carried on by a forgotten champion. This champion eventually defeated Manus, father of the Abyss, successfully stalling the Abyss's growth for some time. Artorias was friends with Sif the Great Wolf and the cat Alvina, both of whom now defend his grave from those who hope to find the means to enter the Abyss. Great Grey Wolf Sif, towering wolf and battle compatriot of Artorias. Legend holds that Artorias once traversed the Abyss to defeat the Dark Wraith, and his companion Sif now guards his grave to deter anyone who would try to enter the Abyss for their own means. If the player completed the Artorias and Abyss DLC, Sif will recognize them, but this is still a mandatory fight and cannot be avoided. So, unfortunately for us, the chosen undead, as it were, we have to put Sif down, and it is probably one of the saddest fights ever, period, because once you get about halfway up the fight, he starts limping, and at that point you're like, it's like you're beating a herd animal at that point. There is also mention of Alvina, which is the cat, another ally of Knight Artorias. Alvina now leads a group of bandits to defend his grave. Any who approach the grave from Artorias and Darkroot Forest are attacked by her covenant. The players can join her covenant and also defend the grave from intruders to allow free access to it. That's not really much of lore, actually. That's just... okay, she defends the grave. That's about it. I'm almost wondering if maybe I should have made a script for this. No, there was a compendium that I could have read, and I don't know if it would be worth it. Anyway. Since there was no mention of anything else, I'm pretty sure. I have to check, actually. Nothing but Dark Wraith mentions the Abyss. No. And Manus. So, with that, I can actually go back to Lost Izalith, which I know it's all kind of scattered all over the place, I'm sure, and I'm confused just as much as other people would. But slowly piecing it together. Anyway, the Lost Izalith is the legendary city of the Witch of Izalith, one of the 4 original lords. She and her daughters founded this city deep underground. The witch and her daughters were originally practitioners of the form of fire sorcery, but this art was lost when the Flame of Chaos destroyed the city. When the first flame began to fade, the Witch of Izalith tried to reproduce it using her magic and a special soul. However, she failed, and the result was the Flame of Chaos, a twisted flame that produced distorted life instead, known as the demons. Gwyn and his knights waged a war against these demons and eventually defeated them, sealing the bed of chaos. Their source of life, with magic, some demons now appear in the role that suggests that they may work for the gods, either willing or as a captured servants. The creation of the Flame of Chaos also created pyromancy as a byproduct, and Quelana, the only daughter of Izalith to escape the destruction, was able to develop an entire system of magic to imitate the ancient fire spells. She took only one student, Solomon, from the Great Swamp. In teaching Solomon, She hoped that mankind could learn to harness and control the flames to prevent the same catastrophe that destroyed her own home. Solomon then returned to the Great Swamp to spread the art of pyromancy. So Solomon and Quelana. So surely they will let me read the lore on them. Yes. Okay, let's see. Oh, actually, let's start with the Witch of Izalith too. There's actually 3 that I can read right this second. Probably even 4. Maybe 5. Okay, so the Witch of Izalith is one of the 4 original Lords of Soul Bearers. Her Lord's soul granted the power of fire, and she's the witch and master of the now forgotten fire sorceries and founded city of Izalith, her daughters deep underground. When the first flame began to fade, she attempted to create... Yeah, we got that. Used a witchcraft and special soul, but failed catastrophically and instead created the flame of chaos. It birthed the chaos mark and the birth of demons, and its flame transformed the Witch of Izalith and all her daughters into demons, barring Quelana, who escaped the destruction of her home. As the daughters of Izalith were the only practitioners of fire sorcery, it is now a forgotten art, but the creation of chaos also created pyromancy as a byproduct. When waged war against the demons and eventually routed them, shackling the bed of chaos, their source of life, to contain them. Quelana, one of the daughters of Izalith and the only one who successfully escaped the destruction of her home. The end of Izalith marked the end of fire sorcery, but the creation of chaos also marked the birth of pyromancy. Quelana adapted many old fire sorcery spells into pyromancy, then taught them to her pupil Solomon long ago, who then taught it to the outcasts of the who live in the Great Swamp. In teaching pyromancy, she hoped to teach people control over the flame to prevent other such disasters, while also preaching a message to fear the flame as it is inherently uncontrollable. Quelana is known to predate the Age of Fire, but by how much or even how at all is never explained. Maybe the Witch of Izalith had her before the Age of Fire, possibly. So, she is not mentioned in this, but she is applicable. Quelaag. One of the daughters of Chaos, she fled Izalith with her sister, but was not able to escape before being transformed by the Flame of Chaos. She is now a demon and has taken up residence near one of the 2 bells of awakening with her sister, the Fair Lady. And the Fair Lady is an unnamed daughter of Chaos and a fire keeper. She is pale and ill. Along with Quelaag, she fled the lost city of Izalith, but she still became a demon. The Fair Lady is afflicted by stillborn eggs, though unbeknownst to her, each serve as a cradle for tiny humanity sprites. She is tended to by her followers and member of her Chaos Servants Covenant, who bring her the humanity she needs. She's also a firekeeper and maintains a bonfire, and can assist the undead by upgrading their Estus flasks. She does not speak any language known by the player character, and can only be understood if they have the correct magic ring. Members of her covenant who offer her humanity will be taught powerful pyromancies born of the flame of chaos and can access the city of Izalith through a secret entrance. Her true name is unknown, and she isn't given a name even in the game files, which is kind of crazy. So she is literally just named the Fair Lady because she seems pretty fair. Even if she's a demon, she doesn't seem bad. She's not trying to cause any problems, which would be nice, actually. Well, there was mention of, well, humanity and the bells of awakening and all these other things, but I don't think the wiki states those. And I have to question why. That is horrible. I wonder if it would be best. No. There's more simplistic versions of everything that I've just read. Oh. Well, I found the Dark Wraiths. Okay, Dark Wraiths are a covenant of Darkstalker Koth. The primordial serpent, the Dark Wraiths. What? I'm frozen. Hang on. That's weird. I've never had that crash. Okay. The Dark Wraiths seek to preserve humanity and thus collect it in order to prevent the feeding of bonfires. Unlike the Way of White, they wish to end the Age of Fire and to usher the Age of Darkness. It's probably the best description I could possibly give. Dark Wraiths basically just go around killing people and take their humanity. Though the Way of White, which is mentioned, is a covenant of Lord Gwyn. Those who are a part of this covenant seek to aid one another and ward off dark spirits. They search for the rite of kindling, which is believed to grant great powers, and wish to continue the Age of Fire by lighting bonfires. So, two completely different things. Which is very, very interesting. Actually, the covenant that was mentioned by the Fair Lady is called the Chaos Servants, and they devote their life to the Daughter of Chaos, who sacrifice their own health to ease the pains of those suffering from the blight being, I believe, like a form of, what is that word? Well, it basically cripples the people that are afflicted by it. Which is even more interesting. Let me read. Keep going up. Okay, that's Lost Izalith. We can now move on to the Catacombs, which has like nothing to do with Izalith, I'm pretty sure. But we're gonna find out. The Catacombs are an extensive network of tombs and crypts overseen by Grave Lord Nito. All things that die are laid to rest here, and Nito's powers of necromancy ensures that they are not disturbed. The area is not completely peaceful, however, and at one point a group of cultists attempt to steal Nito's power and use it to kill the gods. They presumably failed, but weapons and artifacts of their preverse rituals can still be found. Now the necromancer Pinwheel resides in the catacombs, where he slowly siphons away Nito's power for his own ends. And Pinwheel, if I go all the way to the bottom, because he's at the bottom for some reason. Which is insane, and he has actually quite a bit of interesting things to say, apparently. So Pinwheel is a necromancer who stole the rite of kindling and fled to the catacombs. Pinwheel has 3 faces: father, child, and mother. Pinwheel was once a man who lost his son and wife. He attempted to bring them back through necromancy, but ended up fusing their bodies with his. When Pinwheel clones himself, it is actually an attempt to unfuse the 3 bodies. And during the game, when you go to fight him, throughout the Pinwheel boss fight, the masks can be heard whispering in the background of the music. What the mother and child say is difficult to make out. The mother chants something along the lines of, "We will never die," which refers to how the player will always obtain one of the family masks. It is believed that the child chants, "Help me." Although it is difficult to hear the mother and child, it is easy to hear what the father says. "I'm sorry. I'm so, so sorry." Holy moly. It is tremendously dark. I feel as though most things that involve a family that revolves around some of them dying and one being alive tends to be very, very, very dark. But shitty thing is you're just gonna have to sit down and accept it. It sucks. So the next area that we can mention is New Londo. A large city of undead, this place was once prosperous and known for the foresight of its leaders. All undead were welcomed here, and it soon became a safe haven for the undead that were banished from their homelands. New Londo was a city teeming with culture and life. Recognizing this, Lord Gwyn bestowed on the 4 leaders a fragment of his soul and the rank of king before he left to link the first flame. Later, the 4 kings encountered Darkstalker Koth at the Abyss, who offered to teach them the art of life drain. In doing so, the 4 kings and their order of knights were corrupted by the dark, becoming the Dark Wraiths of Koth. The threat they posed to the outside world was so great that the whole city was flooded to contain them, killing everyone inside. The dead still wander as ghosts through the ruins, and the Dark Wraiths themselves survive the flooding even though they are still trapped. So, once again, Koth kind of destroyed an entire city. Indirectly, but that alone is... wow. Oh wow, I hit an hour. It's actually going faster than I thought it was going to go. The next area would be Ulasil, which I believe I've mentioned. An ancient and long forgotten human kingdom that was once in Lordran. It was a peaceful land of scholars who practiced a now lost form of light-based sorcery. Before its fall, a path to the abyss was unearthed, and they encountered a primordial serpent who convinced them to delve into the depths of the abyss to unearth the grave of a primordial human. When revived, this human, named Manus, went mad, and his humanity went wild. This caused him to mutate into a huge abomination, and contact with his humanity caused the people of Ulasil to also mutate into abominations. Manus was a powerful sorcerer and master of the dark, and with his magic he guided the abyss to grow, swiftly overtaking the kingdom of Ulasil. Knight Artorius was sent in to defeat Manus and halt the abyss, but he failed and was corrupted by the dark instead. The chosen undead travels back in time to lay Artorius to rest and defeat Manus in his stead. As the player is not naturally from that time, their actions are instead attributed to Artorius, to be known as the Abyss Walker, the legendary knight who traversed the abyss to defeat the Dark Wraiths. So, Manus is known for manipulating time and space. Artorius was swallowed by the abyss, and the chosen undead had to defeat Artorius and Manus. But the chosen undead got dragged into the past by Manus, which resulted in the chosen undead having to defeat Artorius after he had been consumed by the abyss. But since the chosen undead also had to defeat Manus, that defeat was credited to Artorius because he was the only known person to go and combat the abyss. So his legend lives on as the one who succeeded, but lost his life in the process. That one I know for a fact, because I did do the DLC, I just never beat Manus. And the other guy, I never beat him either. But I did beat Artorius. Next up, we have Astora. Astora is a human kingdom outside of Lordran. It is a land known for its traditional knights, clergy, and noblemen. The Way of the White originates from here, and the knights and cleric class available to the player are apparently travelers from this land, and start with the Way of White Covenant. The Way of White itself is very proactive about removing undead and sponsors great hunts to round them up and forcibly transport them to an asylum on the edge of Lordran. Clerics and knights within the Way of White who become undead are sent to Lordran on a pilgrimage where they are told to search for the catacombs and learn the rite of kindling. At some point in the past, a terrible beast known as the Evil Eye attacked the kingdom of Astora, causing great damage. It was defeated, and its spirit is rumored to be trapped in a magic ring. So, they're not mentioned here, but Astora is home to many, many people. Notoriously, Solaire of Astora. Andre of Astora, oh, I guess that's it. And there are others, but in future games. Starting with Solaire. He is a knight and a follower of the Warriors of Sunlight Covenant. Basically, praise the sun. That's where he comes. That's where all that comes from. He introduces the player to the game's co-op mechanics. Solaire worships the god Gwyn and desires to find the son of his own. Contrary to some theories, he is an ordinary human, and his excessive power is only a result of training and dedication to his goal. As explained in the description for his equipment, Solaire's questline has two ends. In one, he falls to the despair and finds the Sunlight Maggot, a shining and parasitic demon that drives him insane. But if the player kills the sunlight maggot before he can find it, Solaire will instead recover from his despair and later offers his assistance against Gwyn, Lord of the City. Basically, there is no... Well, I guess that would be the happier end, but much is the case with most quests. It's pretty common knowledge that most quests in any Dark Souls game are typically bad. Not bad in a sense like they're terrible quests, but bad in a sense of if you do them, then only bad things can happen. Except for maybe the handful. The low amount of few NPCs. I can literally only think of like 3 off the top of my head that do not have bad endings. And honestly, it's kind of a stretch. The other person from Astora is a blacksmith named Andre. He's trained in smithing weapons, both mundane and divine. He can reinforce weapons to their maximum strength or infuse them with the divine power to gain bonus damage from faith. Peculiarly, he has a unique model and is only a character whose mouth moves when speaking. The statue that holds divine embers share his model. That's more of a gameplay thing that you'd probably have to sit. But the main gist is that he's a blacksmith. He is the blacksmith. He can be found in all of the Dark Souls games. I think he's in 2. I'm pretty sure he's in 2. I know he's in 3, and since 3 is known for being thousands and thousands and thousands of years in the future, he's still in, which means that he does have a purpose, and his purpose is to grant better weapons and armor to the chosen undead. That is his purpose. That's why he will never go hollow. It's pretty amazing, actually, and it's actually kind of motivating. Next. Wow, we're coming down to it, apparently. Next is Katarina, which is a location outside of Lordran, not a person. So Katarina is known for its festivities and drinks, and also for the peculiar onion-like armor of its knights. Their armor was designed to deflect blows and is actually highly effective, and the knights take great pride in it, but the appearance is still mocked by outsiders. Once again, Katarina is home to many, many fan-favorite characters. I am only familiar myself with one of them. But in the case of Dark Souls 1, you have Siegmeyer of Katarina and Sieglinde. Sieglinde of Katarina? I think it's Sieglinde. Typically when they have an E at the end, it typically has that sound. But starting with Siegmeyer, Siegmeyer is a knight of Katarina. Siegmeyer came to Lordran when he became undead. Siegmeyer is searching for adventure, and the player can find him in a variety of predicaments throughout the game. His questline is linked with his daughter, Sieglinde, and both must be completed together. Which Sieglinde of Katarina is the daughter of Siegmeyer. She's searching for her father to give him her mother's last words. If their questline is complete, she eventually finds him, but he has gone hollow. She resolves to kill him again and again until he can finally rest permanently. Jesus. That's wow, that's heavy. The next location is known as Vinheim, and they are known for their Dragon School, a place of study for the system of sorcery formalized by Seath the Scaleless. and the school employs its own spies and assassins trained in sound manipulation magic, and through this maintain control of the city and its politics. Sorcerer starting class available in the player version. So it seems there's only a couple of characters from Vinheim, which are Griggs of Vinheim and Blacksmith Rickard of Vinheim. Griggs is an admirer of Big Hat Logan, which I will read his momentarily, who hopes to study sorcery with him. Griggs' attire and equipment suggest he may be in fact one of Vinheim's spies, but whether he's following Logan under their orders or simply went his own way and he became undead is not known. Not a lot that knows about him other than he really likes Big Hat Logan. And I shit you not, they call him Big Hat Logan because he wears a big hat. Big Hat Logan is a famous sorcerer who once studied at the Vinheim Dragon School of Sorcery, students of Seath's work. Logan is known for developing new and powerful sorceries, one of which is believed to be on par with Lord Gwyn's lightning. He eventually left the Dragon School and traveled to the Lordran when he became undead over 100 years ago. Seeking Seath's legendary archives should he manage to reach it, Logan will study Seath's research and develop even more powerful crystal sorceries, but will eventually go mad when he recreates Seath's crystal breath as a spell. So, in the search of too much information, he ended up going crazy. I'll never guess why they call you No Hat. Because you don't wear a hat. The other character of Vinheim is Blacksmith Rickard. He's another former student of Vinheim. Rickard is found locked in a cell near the upper edge of New Londo. Surprisingly, Rickard is in there willingly and stays because it's safe from the Hollows. He is a talented mage smith and can imbue the player's weapons with magic, allowing them to gain bonus damage from intelligence. That's not really anything special, but it seems to me like he's just a coward and just a student of the Dragon School. But there was mention of many times of Seath the Scaleless, which I will read right now. If I can find it. Seriously? Here we go. Seath the Scaleless. Seath was born without scales that makes the other dragons immortal. In his envy, he betrayed them and stole the primordial crystal, which granted him near complete invulnerability, if not an adequate imitation of immortality. After the war, he was given the title of Duke by Gwyn, a fragment of Gwyn's own soul, and a tower and archives to conduct his research in. Seath eventually codified the system of magic utilizing souls, and is known as the father of sorcery by the Dragon School of Vinheim, which teaches it. Seath spent his time trying to find the secrets of immortality and produce scales for himself, but his research eventually drove him mad and his experiments became more and more deranged. By the time the game begins, he is sending his minions out to kidnap maidens and perform horrible atrocities on them, turning them into monsters. In his madness, he developed powerful sorceries based on a link between souls and crystals, the mere study of which is enough to drive other wizards especially insane. As with all dragons, his tail can be severed to find special weapons, like the Moonlight Greatsword, which is, again, a notorious greatsword. The non-physical blade that shoots and is composed of waves of moonlight. and much like Seath going crazy, Big Hat Logan has gone crazy. Most everyone that is in search of magic and knowledge tend to go crazy, much as like normal real life deal. There's a lot of information, and now we can go to, and dragons regrow their tails like lizards, dragon weapon factory. You know, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. You won't like what you find when you go looking for answers. Exactly. So the next area is Kareem. This kingdom is most known for its shady aristocrats and knights, and its gods. If anything, it is a polar opposite of Astora. Partners of Velka, the rogue goddess, are known to come from here, and is home to the infamous R-Store of Kareem. It is a place known for distinctive weaponry. Kareem knights use lightweight parry daggers in place of shields, and their chotels cut a sinister profile. And its archers are trained in a unique crossbow specialized for sniping. A very particular kind of magic ring originates from here, exceptional at resisting status effects, but rumored to be created through dreadful means. The purging stone items are also from Kareem, and the fact that they contain the remains of humans raise serious questions about their nature and their production. So now we have mention of Velka. Who I'm not familiar with. Some of these characters I'm a little bit more familiar with than anyone else, but not other characters. And trying to find Velka is gonna be rough. Here we go. The Goddess of Sin. Little is known about this rogue goddess who meddles in the affairs of humans. Her followers deal with the guilty, be it pardoning their sins or punishing them. Her talismans are said to be made of raven hair, and along with her following is based around intelligence, not faith. And this mentions someone named Oswald of Kareem. Oswald of Kareem is a character. He's a grim character who deals in sinners and sin. He will appear at the base of the bell tower in Undead Parish after the gargoyles are defeated and the bell is rung. He also sells purging stones for half the price of what the female undead merchant asks, which are used to cure the player's curse status. Apparently, he'll teach a gesture. You can request absolution from him. Interesting. So he's something of a priest, but not really. Seems like well, the people with Velka's, I guess, lifestyle, they use lightweight things, which means they use rapiers, they have a specific one, Velka's rapier, a symbolic, powerful thrusting sword used by the partner service Velka, Goddess of Sin. It is no mere symbol, to be sure. The partner is an inhuman swordsman and wields this enchanted blade with special sword technique, which is apparently in the painted world of Ariamis. Oh, this mentions a lot. Interesting. We'll get to that later. Busy day ahead. Good night, Wes. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. And that's all the locations, which is interesting. Well, now what? I know there's more, but I don't know how to route them all together. Oh, here we go. There's locations of Lordran. There's a location of Lordran section. And the very first one is literally the Firelink Shrine, the ruins that house the entrance of the Kiln of the First Flame and the crossroads for many of the areas of Lordran. Who you get to see Kingseeker Frompt, Crestfallen Warrior, Petrus of Thurland, Anastasia of Astora, and Undead Merchant. Anastasia of Astora, who is an Ash Maiden and a Firekeeper of the Shrine. After you ring both bells of awakening or pick up 2 Firekeeper souls located in the Undead Parish of Blighttown, Anastasia will be killed by Knight Lautrec. This means you will not be able to use Firelink's bonfire upgrade the Estus Flask there until this quest is resolved. Interesting. After she's killed, you can return her soul. And she wants to continue her duty as a Firekeeper, but only hopes that your impure tongue does not offend. If you talk to her, she says, "Forgive me, I am impure. My tongue never intended for restoration. Please, if you have any heart, leave me be. I wish not to speak." Makes it seem like the Firekeepers can't talk, but they're actually supposed to be blind. I'm confused. I'm confusing myself doing all this. This is all actually kind of starting to make a little bit more sense to me from what I understand. Yeah, there's not a whole lot more I can read, actually. I wonder if there's... Surely they'll give me more. There is. There is a 38-page Google Doc that tells me everything. But it's all Dark Souls, it looks like. Do I want to read this? It mentions everything. It's actually not that much, to be honest. 38 pages is not really that much. VTuber this Google Doc is fear. Couldn't be me. Is this? Seeing this head cannon. Never mind. Dozen pages of cat, dog, and ferret pictures. Not even dog pictures. Simply all ferrets. Oops, all ferrets. All fluffy babies. Well, here's the compendium. Holy shit. And there's the ad. Okay. Big skipper. Don't think this would really tell me anything else that I would not already know. This is all holy crap. This is a lot. I see. Now. I don't think there's a whole lot else I can read on this. This might end up having to be a freaking play the game thing. Well, that's unfortunate. They're not in the order that I thought they were gonna be. Well, now what? What do I do? I don't know what to do now. Do I end the stream? Do I double feature? I don't even know what to do. I don't have anything ready. I thought this was gonna go a lot longer. This is awkward. Time to play Dark Souls. I'd have to download it. Can I download it? Do I even have it on this? Alrighty. Oh. It was a joke. It's never a joke. I do have it. Maybe eventually. I don't know. That might be for another time. 'Cause I still want to get through all these other games. Well, I might have to do a double feature. I don't know what to do though. I mean, I have some things installed. Let me see. This is so awkward. It's also a little embarrassing, actually. This is why I was scared to do this. I think didn't do the react and the option of watching a YouTube video. I mean, I could do that if I was gonna be lazy. I think YouTube would kill me if I did that, though. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I should have done that. I don't know. Oh well. Well, I don't want to leave it there. That's kind of short for a stream. Maybe I should do something else. I don't know. Maybe I make another stream and try to figure this out in the next 25 minutes. So I think for this really awkward and not really that great, to be honest, in my opinion, and I did a terrible job with this, I think I'm going to end it here and put up another stream. And yeah. So give me a little bit, and an incredibly long stream. I know. At least I got to be chill with it. After yesterday's too, that was funny. But yeah, let me figure out, I guess, what I'm gonna do, and I'll be back around the hour. So thanks for watching, I think. Bye. Thanks for tuning in. Double feature here in a minute. I'll be back. Ciao for now.